I don't know, I had this moment, I was like, she's like, "How are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I'm fine." She's like, "No, how are you doing?" And I was like, "I think I need therapy."
Hello, and welcome to the Clubhouse. I am your host, VBC, and I am joined here today with our amazing August Man of the Month. So if you just want to go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit, the floor is yours.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that introduction. My name is Grant. I guess I am the August Man of the Month. I am proud and honored to be here. So thanks for having me, first of all. I'm from Colorado as well, similar to BC here. And I now live in Dallas, Texas. I went to TCU for undergrad, and then I went to law school at UT. So I graduated 2020, had a virtual graduation, and did all of that. And studied for the bar all virtually and took it virtually. So it was kind of a crazy time to be in COVID and whatnot. And then started working in January here at up here in Dallas. So I work at a law firm, and yeah, it's been an interesting couple first 7 months. We've been virtually, so kind of working virtually has been tough, and getting situated here in a new city all during COVID has been fun and interesting and exciting and tough all at the same time. So, but I'm happy to be here, happy to join y'all, and it's gonna be a good month. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, we are too. And I mean, first of all of that sounds insane. Like, that is a lot on your plate in such a weird pandemic time.
It was a lot. I mean, outside of pandemic times, I think it would have been a lot and overwhelming. And then I mean, it was tough for everybody, and everybody had their own challenges. And so I think everybody can look back on this as, each one had their own challenges, and mine was interesting in itself. And so it's been a challenge for sure. Thankfully, we're back. We're starting to go back in the office, so it's good to see people's faces and whatnot. But it's definitely tough learning a new job, one that I didn't really know much about, had never done before, and just kind of starting my career in such an odd time was challenging. And it's been tough, but it gets easier and whatnot. But yeah, it's been an odd for everybody, an odd year. And it's definitely come with its challenges. So
Yeah. So have you used a mental health service before?
never. I've always wanted. So it's tough because my dad is very much reserved and the strong type, and my mom is the exact opposite. She is the expressive, feels every emotion, expresses everything. And so it's always been interesting having both of them, because I definitely take more after my dad and kind of learn to be, expressing yourself was a weakness. I don't think he ever said that explicitly, but it definitely is the way he carries himself. And I think it's just how he was raised. And so that's kind of what I was raised under. And so I had always considered it, but never wanted to make that jump, never had kind of that last motivation to make the jumps. And it's my first experience with any sort of therapy, mental health, anything like that. So it's kind of I'm stepping into a brand new world, and you're my shaman leading me through it.
Oh my God, yes, that makes me so happy. I mean, you touched on some, really key points of why, like, we even started this whole thing. It's, these are patterns where you weren't able to maybe express or learn how to express yourself in that way, or it was seen as a weakness. And, if you don't address it, maybe you'll pass that on in the next generation, and you obviously know how it feels to kind of keep your emotions maybe hidden at times. So that's definitely, we're really proud of you for coming to us and letting us be your
Thank
shaman.
you. Thank you.
So you chose to use BetterHelp.
Hmm.
which is an awesome app. I know you and I chatted a little bit about which app to use. What kind of drew you to BetterHelp?
I've always wanted to do in person. I've never loved, I think through my times of online law school, like Zoom, I've never loved. And so I was always worried about an online therapist. And so I was like, I always want to do it in person, but then that was like making that jump and setting that up was a lot. And so like I think this will be a good bridge, and I can kind of use this. And if I love it, then great. And then if I'm like, I like therapy and I like all this, but I want to, try it in person, I think this will be the kind of the stepping stone. So
Oh yeah,
yeah, I feel like it'll be good. We'll see how Zoom is. I'm curious.
yeah, in-person therapy is definitely like I highly recommend that as just above all because it's that human connection and it's that genuine like space that you
Right,
can feel, like it
right.
really produces that community feeling, which I love.
I'm less nervous now that we've had this conversation because I feel like I've got this new energy. I was already excited, but I was a little nervous. Now I'm more just excited. I like the BetterHelp too because they ask more questions that I thought I could narrow down exactly what I wanted help with. They were more specific, and so I could I feel like the matching was going to be better because of it. So I looked at a couple of them, and I know you had given me some options, and they all looked great. And I think they each, when I was looking at them, I definitely had what I was looking for and what I wanted to focus on, which was more of a therapist that I could just, I could talk to, and it was more on the therapy side. So a lot of them were great, and they had, ones that are great for prescriptions, and if you were trying to do, that route and along with the therapy. And so I wasn't necessarily looking for that. And so BetterHelp had that focus on that connection with a therapist, and that therapy component it seemed like a big part of it. And from the reviews I read and whatnot, it seemed like they do a good job doing that. And so signed up, and it seems like from your recommendation, it's going to be a good one. So yeah, I did just some research, and it seemed like the best fit for me and what I was looking for. So
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited to see how this month continues because I think it will really be helpful and definitely it's always nice to have those resources. So I know you said that maybe there's a little bit of that stigma around mental health. Is there any other aspect that maybe you feel like has made it hard for you to get these mental health services at times?
I think a big one for everybody is obviously cost. And so, therapy is not cheap. And I was a poor student for a very long time. And so I just started working. And so that was definitely a big one. And then honestly, I'm nervous and I was a bit scared. And so like, I'm also lazy. And so if I don't make that last, like if I don't have that last push, I will not do it. And so it was April. And April was a tough month for me because it was the busiest month I had, and I wasn't sleeping much, and I was, not sleeping. I was making a lot of mistakes at work, and I was still trying to learn what I was doing, and it was a dark month for me. And so my mom, she could tell I was not doing well, so she offered to fly down, and so she was out here for Mother's Day, and we were talking, and we were sitting out at the bar, and I just kind of, I don't know, at this moment, I was like, she's like, "How are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I'm fine." She's like, "No, how are you doing?" And I was like, "I think I need therapy." And she was like, "Really?" Like, and she knows when I say that, that means that it's serious. And that was kind of like, even that to my own mom was hard for me to say, because like that was when it was real. And once I told my mom, then it becomes real. And so she's also been a big advocate, and was, she's like, "Well, give me, names and people in Dallas. I'll call them up if you need me to. Like, I'll do whatever you want." So she's been great. She'll be excited. I haven't told her yet. She'll be excited to hear. I had mentioned that I was thinking about doing an app and whatnot and joining this. And so she'll be happy to hear that I'm starting here. 'Cause I'm just the type that, I'll just ignore it and deal with it, and just kind of push it to the side as opposed to actually taking it head on. And unless I have that push, I will just continue to just kind of deal with it instead of fixing it. And so I think those are the two big things.
Well, first of all, I want to give your mom a hug. That sounds so, she sounds like my kind of
She's
lady.
great. She is great. Y'all would get along because she's truly amazing. So yeah, it's always funny because my mom and my dad cannot be two different people, and she will even say it herself that they're quite opposite. But I guess they work out. But yeah, it's always funny to see how they interact and whatnot. And I kind of picked up a piece of each of them, and so I definitely have that stubbornness of my dad. But my dad would never ever take this step. Maybe if you were helping him, I think he might, but he would never go this far. And so I think, like you were saying, it's interesting that cycle and kind of continuing it, and it takes one to break that cycle. And so I think having my mom has been helpful and not continuing that trend of the strong Ellis men.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Well, and I think your mom did a great job of, asking you how you are, but then following up and being like, no, we're actually gonna sit in this moment and like discuss how you are. Like it's not
Yeah.
I think a lot of people will be like, how are you? Oh, good, great, bye.
Yeah.
She like really dug in, which is awesome. That's something that needs to be done for sure.
Absolutely. And she's good at that, of really knowing. She knows me better than anyone. And so she can tell, if I'm just passing off the question and not really, she can tell if I'm not okay. And so if I say okay, she knows deep down that I'm not, and she knows how to break down those barriers more than anybody. So yeah, thank God for her. And my
Yeah.
dad. I feel like I'm bashing my dad. My dad is also amazing. But I definitely take different strengths from each of them. So
Yes.
yeah.
No, exactly. And it's definitely like a different time frame where, you know, maybe he hasn't had the opportunity to break down those walls. So it's really
Mhm.
cool that now our society is starting to have these opportunities and there's apps like BetterHelp. Super cool. So how often had you been having someone check on you prior to that?
Honestly, outside of my mom, that's about it. Um, I'm trying to think of other people that would. My girlfriend will too, and she's great, but she doesn't know me as well as my mom does, and it's easier. I can kind of just say I'm fine and not want to deal with it, but my mom will continue to press into it. So, and I think it's important to have those people around who are checking in on you.
Not that you ever, need to or are obligated to, but do you think you'll be telling people that you're using a mental health service?
I think I don't know. It's a good question. We'll see. I'm curious. I would like to think that I would. I really would. And me sitting here would be like, yeah, absolutely. But I'm not. I know myself. I would like to think that I would. Um, Nervous about the whole experience, and so it's not bad to be open and expressive. And I think I've always viewed it as vulnerable and a weakness, of opening up and being expressive and talking about these things. And so I'm really trying to make a commitment to being open, being expressive, and I think that was another thing I was nervous about with therapy and with mental health programs and things like that. Was It's very uncomfortable for me to be expressive and open, because it was kind of taught as being vulnerable is weak. And I think that goes along with the general stigma that is around men's mental health and just mental health in general for everybody. Um, and so I really am making it a point to be expressive and open about how I'm feeling, in order to get everything out of it that I can.
I can guarantee that, it'll only make things better, and it will be uncomfortable, but it'll be that good kind of uncomfortable, and it'll be in a safe space, to explore
Exactly.
that area. So how are you doing? How are you doing today in this moment?
In this moment, I'm good. It's the weekend, and so I think I get the weekend kind of recharge. I've been working a bit this weekend, but not too much. And so when I have time to kind of recharge, it definitely helps. And so in this moment, in this present moment, I'm doing well. I'm talking to BC. Times are good, and I'm excited for the journey that's about to happen. But no, I'm in this moment. I'm good. I really think also for me, for some reason, sleep helps a lot. It's like when I sleep well, like I'm just in such a better mind space. And so when I'm not, that was why April was so tough, is it's just cumulative and it takes you to some dark places. So how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing really well too. I think I had not the best week. But little things can counter that. So I was not having the best day, and my roommate saw that, and she actually simply made my bed for me. And it
That's
was
great.
like leaps and bounds, it was like, okay, she sees me, she understands, I'm going through something, and she's supporting me in that way. So, and then of course we were able to have you as our man of the month, which is a dream come true, in all honesty. Like, I'm so happy that, I can be here, and that the Heartfelt Club can be here on this journey for you, and, just produce this safe space for us to candidly talk about our emotions and things, because we can break that cycle, and, we can help other people realize, oh, there's opportunity here to reach out and get help. So overall, I am awesome, especially while I'm talking to you, Grant. Thank you so much. We are so excited to join this journey with you and, support you in any way that we can. As of right now, thank you all for coming and listening. Thank you for joining us in the Clubhouse. And don't forget to go out there and be more heartfelt.
Let's go. Woo!